Okay, folks, here's a quick review of the Clone Trooper Lieutenant figure that was produced by Hasbro as part of the Star Wars Vintage Collection line of products. I picked this up at Toys R Us during a buy one, get one free sale for $9.99. And this figure is part of what's known as the Lost Wave. Now, as was the case with the recently released Shock Trooper and the Sand Trooper figure from this line, this figure has two different card back versions. One version is the traditional Star Wars Vintage Collection packaging, and the other is a design that Kenner thought about using when the Star Wars figures were first being conceptualized back in the 70s. Alright, when I first got the figure out of the blister pack, I was quite pleased. This is a nicely detailed figure with a slightly off-white armor and blue accents. We saw these troopers quite a bit in the Geonosis battle towards the end of Attack of the Clones. There were some paint application errors on this figure. I have seen some white paint splattered on the black bodysuit in the right shoulder area, and also there was some chipping on the back of the figure. The helmet also appears to have a gash in its right side that isn't present on my other carded example of this figure. Most of the joints worked well right out of the packaging. I've had no problem with moving the shoulders, elbows, hips, ankles, and abdominal crunch joint. I did run into a slight problem with this right knee joint freezing up, but it is slowly beginning to move more freely with repeated movements. Also, it appears that the shoulder joint movement is restricted somewhat by these shoulder pads, just like it was with the Shock Trooper figure. Now, as has been the case with the other clone troopers that I've reviewed from the Star Wars Vintage figure line, the helmet on this figure is removable. The head sculpt is the same as the other clone troopers, and it does look nicely done. And I'll show you what it looks like in just a moment. So what I'll do here is pause, zoom in, and give you a closer look as to what the figure looks like. Okay, and I'll pop the helmet off here and let you see what he looks like without his helmet on. Okay, put this back on. Alright, the Clone Trooper Lieutenant comes with two accessories, so what I'll do now is pan down and show you what they are. The figure stand that you see him standing on was not included in the package. Okay, as you can see, Clone Trooper Lieutenant comes with a laser pistol and a laser rifle. Now, according to what I've read, this laser rifle is known as the DC-15A, and the laser pistol is known as the DC-17. Both these weapons, just like the ones that came with the Shock Trooper, have nice silver accents and detailing on them, as you can see. And just like with the Shock Trooper, it seems that this figure seems to hold the laser rifle better in his right hand, and the laser pistol in his left hand is held better. Alright, back to the figure itself. What I'll do now is a quick 360 of the Clone Trooper Lieutenant and let you see what he looks like from all sides. So overall, I'd have to say that I'm quite pleased with this figure. It has nice paint applications and nice looking weapons. And it's also got a lot of potential as an army builder. The only problems that I ran into were with the figure's right knee joint and the slight shoulder joint restriction due to these shoulder pads and some very minor paint application errors. So therefore, I have no problem giving this figure a great recommendation. If you see him, pick him up. Okay, so on that note, take care and stay tuned for my next review. Have a good one.